Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Sarah. Thank you for joining me today for this collective reading, which is going to be timeless. This is going to also be published after the full moon in Sagittarius. And upon waking up this morning, I felt like Spirit was telling me someone out there needs to hear this message. Someone out there is feeling stuck. Someone is feeling blocked and hindered in some aspect of their life. And Spirit wants to give you some advice on how to proceed with that, okay? So I'm going to start off this reading a little bit differently. I do have an affirmation deck that I want to start with here. This deck is by the poet and the artist Morgan Harper Nichols. I love her poetry and I love her artwork, so I selected a card here for us today, and I just want to start off our reading with this. So it's going to be okay. Not perfect, but okay. You may not understand all that is happening, but you will bloom anyway. And I just love the use of watercolor here. I'm so sorry, the lighting is a little bit, there we go. It's a little bit cloudy in my neck of the woods today, so it's gonna be okay no matter what. But I do want to get some more clarification on what kind of energy is in your vicinity right now. Maybe what is your energetic state at this moment? I'm using a different deck today too. I am in love with these cards. So these are Adventure Time tarot cards. So this is the totally unofficial Adventure Time tarot deck by Katherine Hillier. I'll have a link down below to her Instagram if you want to support her, but I have been working with these cards personally for about a year now. I don't know, there's something about them. It just awakens my inner child. I don't know if any of you have watched the show Adventure Time, but we got some good cards here today. All right, so we're starting out with the Four of Cups. Okay, and appropriately so. I feel like this environment, this energy that you're bringing forth, it's like you've had these three opportunities that have maybe not panned out the way you had imagined in the past. Maybe it was love, maybe it was a career opportunity, a contract that didn't go the way that you had anticipated. I feel like in this card, so these are not traditional, but these are illustrations here from the Adventure Time TV show. You see here that there's the hand of Spirit emerging from the clouds here, offering up a fourth opportunity. And I feel like Spirit is asking you right now just to trust that maybe if things had not worked out the way you had imagined in the past, that to trust Spirit this time, right? And I feel like you're going to be able to alchemize your previous experiences, whether they were disappointing, whether they were negative experiences, and you're going to be able to alchemize those into gold and go into this new opportunity, I feel like, with more clarity, with more maturity, knowing your worth, right? So Knight of Cups is what we got here next. And you've heard me say this in previous messages before, but he has wings on his helmet. He has wings on his feet. I feel like this knight, unlike other knights in the tarot deck, he's not coming in hot, right? He's not coming in rushed here. He's coming, I don't want to say at a snail's pace, but he's moving like water. You know that quote by Bruce Lee, be like water. Like, it's just flowing. It is coming in at its right place, at its right time, unrushed. And I feel like that's the energy we need to be in right now. Trusting that this divine message is going to find you when it's meant to find you. And then we have the Hierophant here, and you'll have to forgive me. It's been a while since I've watched the TV show. I don't know all the names of the characters either. I might have to go back this summer and rewatch Adventure Time. But the Hierophant, that's dealing with tradition. The zodiac sign associated with this one is also Taurus. Mars is also in Taurus right now, and I'm a Taurus rising, so I can attest that things kind of feel a little bit fiery at the moment. I'm not gonna lie, like you're kind of working through mud, through quicksand, and it's like you have this urge. Maybe some of you out there are like manifesting generators or manifestors, if any of you follow human design in any way, but it's like you get these creative urges, and it can be frustrating when you can't fully execute or carry out that vision that you have. Maybe you feel burdened right now by everyday reality, your everyday responsibilities. Maybe it's been hard to leave a stable position at this point in time, even though you know in the long run it's not going to be good for you. Sometimes it's hard to leave that stability and those traditional roles behind. Again, I feel like Spirit is asking you to develop this childlike trust here. We have the Ice King. I'm trying really hard to focus here, people. We have the Ice King here as represented in the Fool, one of my favorite cards. It's like the sun is shining behind him. There's this childlike quality. There's this sense of naivete, if you will, in the sense that he's leaping into the unknown with little to nothing on his back. And I feel like this next part of your journey, yes, you're gonna need to shed weight, so to speak. Like, you're gonna need to part ways with anything that is weighing you down. You can't carry anything heavy with you into this next chapter of life. So I feel like this energy right now, it's one of disappointment. It's one of like, if I try this again, am I gonna fail again? I'm not so sure. The messenger is taking a long time to come in for us here, but I feel like maybe then rather than going to your default setting here with the Hierophant, with like what you would traditionally do in this situation, I feel like Spirit is asking you to develop childlike trust, right? Going back to our affirmation, it's going to be okay. It's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be okay. I think it's going to be more than okay, actually. So we have our current energy, our general energy here, but what I want to know now is, what advice does Spirit have for you? Okay, we have to develop childlike trust. We're carrying disappointment at the moment, but what do we actually do with this energy? So I'm going to ask Spirit right now. I'm going to pull 4 cards for this. I love this. Okay, death. And a lot of people fear death just in general. The idea of death in our everyday society is something that's not talked about a lot and is often feared. There's a lot of unknown. I feel like this is the death of a cycle, right? I feel like this is the end of a timeline, a previous cycle that you've just been caught up in. I almost look at this also as it's a recycling, like it's compost. Like you can take these 3 previous disappointments and you can again alchemize and compost them into something beautiful, into a rich fertilizer that can grow this dream. I'm also a gardener too, so I know all about that. And also involved in gardening, not everything can be in full bloom year-round. That would be rather odd. There is a time, a season, and a place and specific conditions that certain plants and certain vegetables need in order to thrive and grow. Perhaps the environment that you're in right now is not conducive to that. So we need to close out a cycle right now before we can move forward, before we can move ahead. It could be like the death of like your old self. Like maybe some of you right now, maybe your tastes are changing. Maybe you're gravitating towards certain foods, different forms of movement. Maybe certain TV shows that were really entertaining for you, you're like, this is just garbage. Like, why am I consuming this? Why am I eating things that make me feel awful? Why am I going out for drinks after work and then having a nasty hangover the next day and not feeling good, right? Like, you know, these are just very loose examples, but you kind of get the idea. I feel like you're examining some of your habits right now, some of the things that you just kind of, it's easy to get into a repetitive loop on. And I feel like you're really truly examining, like, how do I feel after the fact, after I watch this TV show, after I eat this certain food, after I'm around this certain crowd, right? And I feel like on the other side of this, you're going to be celebrating something new. This is a card, the 4 of Wands here. This is a card of commitment. This is a card, it can be marriage. I don't know, some of you may be calling in your soulmate right now. This isn't technically a love reading, but I just feel like the advice from Spirit is just to keep going, because you're going to, for me, the Four of Wands is like you're at a finish line. And you're just short of that finish line. And I feel like for someone specifically that I'm reading for out there, you're like one step away from the finish line, but you want to give up right now. Spirit is saying, please keep going. Please trust. Take my hand in childlike trust, and just know that on the other side of this portal, on the other side of these wands here, you're going to be celebrating something just beautiful. And which brings me to the King of Cups. I don't know if this is Gunter from Adventure Time. You'll have to let me know in the comments. I'm assuming so, but this is somebody who has mastered his emotions, so much so to the point where I feel like you can appear maybe borderline stoic. I feel like you have a very good sense of, I'm getting like the emotional guidance scale. I don't know if any of you follow Abraham Hicks, but you know where you are, you know, at any given point, and you know how to deal with those emotions appropriately. You know that they're not here to stay forever. I feel like, again, you're somebody who has skillfully worked with your emotions. If I'm feeling angry, maybe I need to move my body. Maybe I need to do something rigorous to get some of this energy out. Maybe, again, going back to alchemy, I feel like you're somebody that can alchemize whatever you're feeling and translate it into something beautiful, like art, movement, compassion for yourself, right? So yeah, I'm really liking that energy right now. And then we have the Lovers here. Now, I know that traditionally the Lovers actually doesn't mean love in the sense of like romantic love. It can mean a choice. It can mean a decision. And I feel like right now, maybe some of you are at somewhat of a crossroads. The goddess Hecate, she's like the goddess of like magic. She's kind of known as like a death doula in some histories and traditions, but she governs crossroads, right? So again, this may be just for a select few of you. Not everyone may resonate with this, and just, you could take it or leave it, but maybe consider giving an offering to Hecate. If you work with her, find a corner or a literal crossroads somewhere and, you know, leave an offering for her. Work with her at this time. She's a great one to work with, especially if you feel like you're at this point of indecision. Should I stay or should I go? She's a really good one to call upon if you find yourself at a bit of a fork in the road, so to speak. Where do I go? Do I turn right? Do I turn left? And you'll know, friends. But again, that message might just be for some of you, not everyone, okay? And then lastly, I want to ask the cards, I want to ask Spirit, okay, we understand our current energy. We know what's being asked of us right now, closing out cycles. We're celebrating this victory. We're taking one more step, just one more step in trust, mastering our emotions, making a decision. Now, what's the most likely outcome from all of this? And again, I will pick 4 cards here. So the most likely outcome, we got a lot of swords here. I feel like, yeah, we're dealing with a lot of thoughts, mental energy. Swords rule the element of air. And then we have the Queen of Swords here. I feel like you're going to be in a very unique position to, you know, queens often have this like nurturing energy, this abundant energy, maternal energy. I feel like you're just going to develop this beautiful balance between that, those feminine-like qualities. And it doesn't matter what gender you are or what your pronouns are. I feel like we all embody masculine and feminine energy, but I feel like you're going to be skillfully embodying the feminine, but using that sword energy, that logic. To me, this isn't like a like strict interpretation of this card, but for me, she's like a queen of boundaries. Like, she just doesn't let her boundaries become crossed. She's logical, but not so much to the point that she loses that softness, that nurturing side, right? It's just this beautiful balance here with that Queen of Swords. And I think that's what's going to happen. You're going to be able to still be this loving, carefree individual, but you're also going to know when to put up those walls, when to fortify yourself, when to protect your energy. And that's a beautiful place to be in, my friends. The Knight of Swords here, I feel like whatever's coming in for you right now is coming in rather quickly. I feel like that's what's going to be coming for you here in the future, so you need to get ready. We need to make a choice. We need to close out this cycle. Yeah, that's what I'm definitely getting off this card. We also have the Nine of Swords here, and I pulled this upright. I don't typically read reversals here on the channel, but for me, I feel like this, again, is like the Death card. It's going to be a closing of a cycle. The Nine of Swords, for me, is parallel timelines. So those swords suspended above his head, to me, represent these different timelines that we can occupy. And the one we're on right now, it's just like this perpetual loop, this negative loop that we want to get out of. It's like Groundhog's Day, but it's like not good. It's like the same thing every day, same negative patterns, same toxic energies. And again, going back to that Death card, is like you're finally waking up. I feel like this is an awakening for some of you. This may happen on the heels of this full moon that we just had in Sagittarius on May 31st. Someone is waking up right now. Someone is finally realizing, I'm stuck because I'm choosing to stay stuck. I'm stuck because I'm asleep and now I'm awake, and now I can't unknow what I know. I feel like for a lot of you, some type of revelation happened on the heels of this full moon. But again, this is a timeless reading for whenever you find this message, friends. And then lastly, we have the Queen of Cups here. 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Again, just echoing some of the energy that I was talking about with the Queen of Swords. She has 1 foot on land here in the 3D reality that we occupy, and then 1 foot in the sea, meaning for me, it's your spiritual realms, your connection to spirit, God, whatever you want to call it, source. It's this beautiful divine interplay between, you know, our responsibilities, our day-to-day living, but also that connection to spirit. I'm getting self-care, I'm getting meditation, I'm getting somebody that maybe needs to go on a trip where near a body of water. Water is very healing, it's very cathartic. I feel like right now we need to do a little deep dive on some self-care right now, some self-care rituals, whatever that may be for you. And I'm really liking this right now. I want to conclude our message though with some oracle cards. This is the Pure Magic Oracle. And you know what? I'm gonna pick, let's see. I'm gonna pick 3. That's what I feel like Spirit is asking me to pick right now. So we're gonna do that. Okay, so we have ancestors, number 1, family, survival, death, worship. Okay, so you've heard me in previous readings. I've shared this with you all before. I do have an altar in my home dedicated to my ancestors that I keep up all year round, just as a way of saying thank you to those who have come before me. For some of you, it could take the form of a simple prayer, writing a letter to your loved ones, the ones that have passed on. I mentioned Hecate, working with her. She is this goddess that brings people from the land of the living into the underworld. It's like a death doula. Maybe some of you have recently lost a loved one, and maybe they're trying to reach out to you at this point in time. They're still here with you. They're still here guiding you, holding your hand through this. So for some of you, I feel like that message is really going to resonate, working closely with your ancestors and spirit guides at this time. And then we also have the number 25, Bridget, Psychic Flames, 333, Sacred Milk, Druid Magic. I feel like some of you are going to find whether it's studying the tarot or some type of like high magic. I feel like some of you are going to tap into your psychic abilities at this time. I saw 333 today at the coffee shop. One of my favorite baristas has this tattoo that I've just never noticed and had 333 on it. So for some of you all, that's going to be an aligned message for you. So I think right now you could work with your ancestors. You can work with some type of magic, some type of divination tool such as tarot. I would get really curious right now. Maybe some gifts are going to start to come online for you during this time. And then this is 21. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Baraka. Power, strength, force, expansion. That is so beautiful. It's like he's creating like this fist, like in solidarity. I don't know why, but this immediately came into my mind too. I also teach and practice yoga. Ganesha, the remover of all obstacles, as represented by the elephant. You can work with him as well. So, or just work within yourself. Find this strength within yourself. You know, these deities, these energies, these are all just permission slips, right? But I feel like for some of you, you're going to find this expansion, this force to be reckoned with from deep within. We can all access this at any time. I hope that this message has helped you, friends. I hope that this has been of benefit, has uplifted you. I certainly have enjoyed giving this message to you, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Okay, until next time,